Welcome to the American Dream Podcast Season 2, the show where I interview immigrants from all over the world to hear their perspectives of the American dream. I'm your host, Ekaterina. Привет! I'm in a studio with Czech Republic citizen Marketa Garrison. Ahoy!
Ahoy!
So you are my mom's very good friend. You have been in the United States for the past 20 years or so, and I want to get to know your story and, of course, your thoughts on the concept of the American dream. So let's start from the very beginning, back when you lived in Czech Republic. Where were you born, and how was your life back in that country?
I live in United States from 2000, and back when I come here, I was 24 years old. And Czech Republic, it's a beautiful country. I mean, I born in Czechoslovakia. That's when we still been communist country. And when I was 15, we have a Velvet Revolution. And that's where change happened. And from Czechoslovakia, we become Czech Republic. It was 1989.
What was it like living back there?
I grew up just with my mom. I mean, it was, like a kid, you really don't see any problems, really. When I'm looking at it now, back how we live, we probably was not poor, but not middle class neither. It's mean we did not have a color TV. We lived pretty simply. And my mom's mom helped us a lot with give us food or bring us Christmas presents and help us that way. But when I growing up, I really did not see that. I see that now when I'm looking back.
You miss it a little?
I miss Czech humor.
Oh.
We are really funny.
Okay.
And in United States, people are also very funny when you know those jokes and you kind of, pick it up on them. But yep, food and Czech humor, that's what I'm missing.
Okay, so what was the most difficult part about living Czech Republic or Czechoslovakia? You were living Czechoslovakia. It wasn't Czech Republic yet.
When I left, it was Czech Republic.
Okay.
Already. And hardest was my connection to my family. And I've really not been leaving them behind in my idea. I come for exchange program. It means I come for 6 months. And before, I really never left my mom for more than 2 weeks. It's been even that 6 months, look at it ahead, was a long time. It's been leaving my family and things was hard, but also pretty adventurous. It's mean I was looking forward to new country, new language, new culture, and that was amazing.
So what was your journey to this new country like?
Pretty awesome, honestly. I was so driven to do and see something new. Even I did not speak any language and really not have enough money to do a lot except what I come to do for exchange student. I still was so excited to come, and people was amazingly good to me. They shared their stories. They tried to teach me English, and I just love this country. I love my first time come here, and I still do.
So what was it like when you first just arrived here?
I cannot speak any English. I did not understand any English. I feel like in a dream. It was a dream come true.
As long as it's not a nightmare.
Yeah, no. It comes with challenges, like you go in a store and try to recreate what you used to. It's mean coffee tastes differently. Food you use home, you try make it same, but it's just not same. It's mean that was little, it doesn't been difficult, just different. Just different. And, you learn quickly, and people introduce you to new things. Like I did not grow up with peanut butter. When I grow up, we did not have that. I never have avocado. Guacamole before. That was something totally new. Czech soups are always made with like a broth from a meat. And when I come here, my friends did vegetable broth, and I love learn new style of cooking.
Okay, so the top 4 challenges every immigrant faces here in the United States are language barriers, employment, housing, and access to services. How did you overcome these?
Housing, employment was not problem. My biggest problem was language.
Okay.
And in the grace of all people around me, they just I grow with them, and they kind of help me through. I remember writing a little piece of words on a piece of paper, have it in my pockets, and always pull it out and read it for me, and that's how I learn language. It's kind of Czech English language, which I still use. And I learn a lot from children books. I watch children movies. But I would say friends, people from here just was gracious enough, not ever really laugh at how funny I'm speak, but really helping me
to adapt better.
Yes, that was my biggest. I have really good people around.
So what is your career now, and why did you choose this path in America?
Here it is again, it's adventure. Mm-hmm. It's I work in a Southwest Baptist University in Balver, Missouri, and I working in a Center for Global Connection. And what does mean? I'm logistic coordinator, and we sending students overseas. And I'm part of that big group of people sending students from SBU, and I'm buying tickets, make sure all their vaccinations is what they need for traveling in different countries, and putting together where they're going, buses, train tickets, and it's amazing. I feel like I'm there with them. I'm traveling, even I'm sitting in an office.
Do you think your path would be as successful if you stayed in Czech Republic? What would your life look like there and your career?
If I'm stay in Czech Republic, I probably would have to do something still adventurous. Mm-hmm. Normal for Czech people is finish school, married, have a children, build house, and once a year go on a vacation. And mm-hmm. that was just so boring for me. I want to do something more.
Something spicier.
Yes. Let's say yes. And now when I'm older, I'm thinking about it, that's not that bad. Mm-hmm. But if I'm stay back in home, me and my mom, we start business together. When I still been back in the Czech, we have a hair salon, and I probably would stay with my mom, and we would have a bigger business maybe growing, because the 2 of us in that time. But I'm not sure. Something adventurous.
So I think every culture has its own prohibited questions. In Russia, we hate being asked things like, do you drink vodka all the time? Or like, you dance with bears? Or is it always cold there? But apparently the top 2 things you should never ask or say to Czechs are, I am vegetarian, and Czech is the same as Russia. Why is that?
Okay, I never hear about a vegetarian, but I can tell you it's probably because we eat so much pork.
Okay.
All meal from breakfast, lunch, dinner, it's some type of salamis or meat. If you come, all Czech people like to invite you in a house and have you over, cook for you, host you. And what we're going to do for you, host you with, it's going to be mostly meat, animal products. And then you come and say, I'm vegetarian.
It's almost insulting.
Yes, it's like, what do you talk about? And I have nothing what's to put in front of you. They would be stressed out what's to give you. It's probably that's why vegetarian. And Russian being called, if we are Russians, is Czech Republic was under communism, and we really are not even close to Russia. It's probably close when you look at a map, but being part of Europe, it's really far away for us. Czech Republic is in the middle of Europe. We have Germany, Austria, Poland, and Slovakia around our borders. And it was a little it is a little insulting, but most Czech people will just like, oh, okay, you need to go back in a school and look at a map. But not that bad.
Well, thank you so much, Marketa, for sharing your story with us. We got to take our break. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back. You're listening to the American Dream Podcast. I'm your host, Ekaterina, in the studio with Marketa Garrison. So America is all about freedom, and the First Amendment and freedom of religion is the American dream for a lot of immigrants. But is it for Czechs? I know that even though the Czech Republic has a lot of religious imagery, most Czechs aren't religious. In fact, a majority of Czechs are atheists. This is a huge contrast to the United States, where most Americans claim to be Christian.
Yes, that is true. Czech people, in time I live here, a lot of things change. And when I go home and visit church, I can see young families coming back to churches. But I have to go back to being under communism for so long and being separated from churches. We lost that connection.
It was illegal to be religious.
It was illegal, but not say that way. It's mean if you go in a church, you can attend to church, but your family would be... You cannot have education, higher education. You just would have a basic education if you attend to churches. And, if you don't grow up with believing and going in a church, the separation is just grow bigger and bigger, and older grandmas dying and young children did not have that chance to go in a church, except in a Christmas. In a Christmas, almost all families around me where I grew up, we would go for big mass. It's called, I think it's called that way in English. And we would listen Christmas music and story of Jesus, but believing is just a story for children. It's not really reality. It's just a made-up story.
Do you think freedom of religion motivated a lot of Czechs to move to the United States then? Do you think that's the Czech American dream?
Not really sure. I think what is make Czech people move from Czechoslovakia, it was freedom of speech.
Okay.
More and religion. But again, I cannot speak for them. But that was probably biggest problem during communism. You have to believe and speak just one way, and you cannot have any other opportunity or even a way to express yourself. It's mean, we did not make a lot of money. It's mean if somebody was really smart, was doctor or have any other higher education, it would be much better for them to leave Czechoslovakia and find a different place to work than been back home in Czechoslovakia.
So what is the American dream for you, and how do you feel about this concept?
American dream for me, I love United States. I love their freedom. I really do. I love people of United States. Some of them feel guilty about owning so much and having so much, but I always feel like any other countries, if they have so much, we would not do any better. Oh, you can go shop today, or let's buy more and we need. I'm thinking, it's just inherited in us. If you can, you just go ahead and do. American dream for me is probably, it is the freedom of speech.
So you have that dream.
I have that dream. Yes. And it's come true. I can be whenever I want to be in United States.
Interesting. So you already basically reached your American dream as soon as you moved here.
Yes.
You just crossed it off your list.
Yes.
Freedom of speech. That's
freedom of speech. Freedom of movement. I can move anywhere I want to. I'm just feel free. Even now when I go visit back home in a Czech and I'm coming back home in United States, I can feel that freedom when I'm cross and I'm back home in United States.
That's interesting because most immigrants that I've talked to so far, their American dreams were materialistic. So they were like, I want to have a big house, lots of money, which there's nothing wrong with that. You do you. But this is interesting that you right away said that that was my dream and I already reached it.
Yes.
So do you think you reached the Czech American dream?
For me, yes.
So if you were to go back to Czechoslovakia or to Czech Republic, I should say, how would people react to you? Do they think you're living the American dream for them, in their opinion?
I think lots of Czech people watching United States movies, American movies, and think about the American dream is to have a materialist stuff, have cars, have big, huge houses. Really, it's a necessity for United States to have cars. Everybody in a family have to have a car to move around. You know, it's just that's how it's work here. And in Europe, you just don't need cars like we have to have it here. But that doesn't mean because you are rich. That's just mean it's a necessity. It's mean when I come back in Czech, people think because I'm living here, I'm really rich. And we really not in a eyes of richness of materialistic, but in a richness of life, yeah, I am incredibly rich.
So if someone you knew from Czech Republic were planning to come to America to fight for their American dream, what would you tell them to expect? What advice would you give them about whether or not they should even come here?
Give yourself a grace to just don't be perfect. You know, people around, even if you don't speak well, they are so gracious. And same for those people who's going come here and speaking Czech, give gracious American people. You know, do not judge them because they do this or that. That's how they grow up. They just grow up differently. We grow up in Czech differently. They grow up here differently. That doesn't mean they are bad people or spoil.
It's just a cultural difference.
That's just culture difference. That's what we love.
So finally, I have found a Czech proverb that says, I cannot say it. Maybe you can. Malé ryby, taky ryby.
Malé ryby, taky ryby.
Okay. So in English, that means even small fish are a fish. What does that mean in your culture?
In our culture, that's what does that mean? Even small success is good to celebrate. You don't have to have a big, huge success to celebrate. You don't have to have catch big fish to celebrate it. Even small success is worth it to celebrate.
Honestly, that kind of matches your American dream. Your dream comes from your soul and you already reached it.
Yes.
And it was very kind of easy for you to reach just by moving here.
Yes, that's right. It was kind of easy. Just move it here and just let it be. Just let people help me and just stuck with it. You know, stick to knowing if you will speak better English one day and integrate yourself with people around you. Don't try to just protect your Czechishness, which I love, but also integrate yourself with people around you, become part of who they are, be with them.
Plus, going back to that proverb again, I feel like it kind of means one step at a time. A lot of immigrants think that they're gonna come to America and instantly gonna have everything they want.
That will not happen. It is one step at a time.
Yeah.
But eventually, if you stick to it, you will get whenever
you fight for it.
Even that fight is kind of harsh word, but stay with it and be gracious to people around you because they are your biggest resource.
Thank you so much for visiting me today, Marketa. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram at podcasttad.